We live, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, New York. We are under Commander General Hunter. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, that our oppressor is, in fact, the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? The deceiver of the earth, you understand? Bear with me 1 second. I'll be back. Hey, look, check it out. If you tuning in, go ahead and hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Hit that share the stream, and let's get this truth out to the masses. You understand? And in all of these classes, you understand. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's very important. You understand? You do your small task is getting valuable information, valuable knowledge, valuable wisdom out to our people. You understand? So make sure you do that small task. You understand? Again, this is the Israelite School of UPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commanding General Yohanan. We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Jews, and our oppressor is, in fact, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? Tonight's Monday night class, all throughout the earth, is the scripture breakdown class / history class. You understand? We bring out historical, events, and we break down the scriptures. You understand? If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. If you have any, any comments, any questions, go ahead and type it in the chat. We might be able to get a few into tonight. It's a lot going on in the earth, man. I'm gonna share my screen in a second. Matter of fact, let me get this now. I want to share a story. It's bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. If you're not in the loop, if you may not know, but something catastrophic has happened in the earth. We had an actual terrorist attack, and it seemed like America don't want to recognize it. I wonder why. I wonder why America doesn't want to recognize this particular terrorist attack that happened on American soil by a people that's supposedly hated by America right now, or I was just saying, they don't have they're not fair in the eye of the so-called American, so-called upright patriot of America, right? So-called Palestinian, so-called freedom fighters, so-called whatever terminology you wanna give these protesters and what have you. But it was an act of terror. Actually, committed in the earth. All right? I'm gonna share with you a couple of news stories. And what's so significant about this terrorist attack, is that the attack was on black people, specifically the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. They attempted to harm the men, women, and children in this school. It was an attempt here. I'll share with you this story here, man. It's very important we understand the times that we're living in. It's very important that we following the news, following the, what's going on in the earth, not just the trends on social media, but actual, events that impact the entire earth. This war that's going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis, or Hamas and Israeli, whatever, however you want to spin it, you understand, is more dynamic than what we may understand. We've been speaking about World War III for the past, many decades now. Since 1969, we've been telling the earth and the world that this war was coming. This war was coming. Everybody's going to get drawn into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? There's no avoiding this here. You understand? All right, bear with me 1 second. I'll pull this, and I'm gonna share my screen. Pull this real quick. I'll show you something that the church ain't gonna bring out. I'll show you something that the mosque ain't gonna bring out, that these other religious institutions ain't gonna bring out, man. We're gonna go into it today. Tonight's the title of the class tonight is "Love Not the World." Like we jump on all of these bandwagons, right? We jump on whatever that seems woke, right? That's what we do as a nation of people, not knowing, and we do it because we want to be a part of something. We want to claim to something that we think is right and that we think is just. A lot of people think it's right and just to be on the side of the Palestinians, and I can see why. A lot of people that want to be on the side of the Israelis, and I can also see why that is. But what we don't understand, that this fight, there's no side for you to choose, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, because the Palestinian man doesn't give a damn about you. Nor does the Israeli man give a damn about you either. Both of these nations had a hand in our captivity, had a hand in our destruction, had a hand in, look around you. It's absolute pestilence around us, round about. You understand why is that? All of these nations around us had a hand in that, had a part of that. Now, as soon as they face some adversity or some issues or some problems, now we gotta be on somebody's side. Nah, damn that. They were never on our side, ever. What nation has rose up against our oppressor? Not one African nation, Nigeria, from all the way down to South Africa, right? Not one nation has rose up against our oppressor, right? You gotta wake the hell up, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. But we join anything that we think is right and just. We think, we gotta be on the side of the freedom fighters. Oh, we gotta be on the side of the Israelis. They've been the so-called Holocaust, right? I understand. It's called being fake woke. That's what we tied to. Let me get this article before I forget though. There has been a so-called terrorist attack, an actual act of terror from a Palestinian on American soil. Fox News, where you at? I'm talking about on a national level. Where you at? Bloomberg, where you at? On a national level, where you at? I don't hear you. NBC, where you at? There was an attack. There was an attack on American soil. You want to know why this news isn't blowing up? You want to know why? It's because the victims are black. Right? It's because the victims are black. Let me show you this story, man. I'm gonna show you how much the goddamn oppressor is the devil of the earth, man. Show you something real quick, man. How vile and disgusting this beast really is, man. Excuse me, bear with me one second. Pull this article up. Now, this particular event happened at one of our locations. Let's see if I can present this screen. All right, here we go. Boom. Let me see. Let me make sure y'all can see this properly here. All right, boom. There we go. Bear with me 1 second. Now, woman arrested for allegedly crashing car into Indianapolis, in quotes said here, Jewish school with people inside. A woman has been arrested. It doesn't describe her so far. This one was of Palestinian descent. Right.
Breed all around. What you're capable of under the
most
law. That's what matters.
Yeah. Reading on. It says, woman is in custody after allegedly driving her car into a building she thought was a Jewish school. Over the weekend, according to police reports, officers were called to the building, which officials say is used by the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. 11:30 p.m. Friday to investigate a possible hate crime.
Just last week, officials arrested a wanted suspect from Senegal. After he was allowed to roam the U.S.
Upon arrival,
2 weeks.
officers say they found Ruba. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce this goddamn Hebrew name. Who had backed her car into the building while several adults and children were inside. Police labeled terrorists, according to Fox 59.
And once they're in, it's almost
say,
impossible.
I don't know how to pronounce this goddamn Hebrew name.
Emily, all of that is true.
Told them she was
what do we do now?
watching news coverage of Israel-Hamas war on television and was offended by the Hebrew Israelite symbol on the outside building. So she decided to attack the building. You believe that? So-called Jewish man, if I could.
Listen to the data that we are reporting.
The so-called
that's what Americans need to do to put pressure on our lawmakers. It kills me that our vice president campaigned on fixing the southern
The
border,
so-
and then was named the southern border
Jewish
czar,
man,
has done nothing
right?
but increase the vulnerability
They
and their
didn't
risks.
put
Fentanyl
shame
is
on the
American
shield
record
date.
rate, and now the lone wolf.
So every time they see our holy seal, the seal of Zion, they associate it with these goddamn devils.
For our protection, and it seems the left.
I mean, they associate
this
with
administration.
Gaia,
the so-called Israel.
the president to go meet with President Xi in China.
The scriptures say this.
Just listening to what Emily was just saying about the fentanyl.
In the Apocrypha, prayer for you.
But this is a president who's been known to make
The seal of Zion, they lost the heart.
Yep, and fentanyl issues
They delivered to the ones that
Americans. That's a China issue. That's a border issue.
That's what we got to recognize and
That's
understand.
what
Black
we're
men.
talking about here, national security threat. Because what we're seeing at the border is a national
We can't be tied. We can't be tied into this heathen on heathen crime going on. We can't be tied into it.
They don't. But
in
that large, enormous,
They attacking us in the UK, attacking us in Indianapolis.
and what's really
When is it going to stop? Any other time we are separate people. Any other time we separate.
etc.
They find a way. They find a way to goddamn stop this fight. They find a way to pull us into their madness, right? They find a way to pull us into it to further oppress us and to further terrorize us. But what we want to do. So we want to join. We want to join. We want to be a part of it. There's some scriptures in this. Give me 1 John 2. You start there. Yeah, 1 John, we'll start there. First John chapter 2, verse 15. And it reads, love not the world. We'll start with that. This particular first part. It's milk too. Milk scriptures, but it's extremely relevant. It's milk too, but it's extremely. And I'm gonna show you. We're gonna explain it to you and show you why it's so relevant. Because this age of society can never understand why we shouldn't be or pick a side of this so-called this war that's going on. This world can't understand why we want to be separate from picking the side of the Israelis or picking the side of the Palestinians. You understand? In their mind, if you ain't on the Israeli side, then you anti-Semitic. If you sympathetic for the crimes that the Israeli man has done to the Palestinians, then you're siding with Hamas and you're siding with the so-called terrorists, right? Why can't you just not deal with neither of them? Because both of them have committed absolutely criminal acts and acts of committed war crimes. Both sides. In this war here, civilians die. That's just a fact. Many civilians that Hamas has bombed and killed and shot and did horrific things to. That's the fact. It's the same thing with the so-called Israelis. It's a fact. So why should we back either side? Especially when both of these sides had a hand in the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man's captivity. Why should we love their world? Why should we love their society when their society as a whole, played a part in our destruction? So-called Arab man and so-called Israeli man. They don't have a listen, man. These goddamn heathens don't give a damn about us, man. The true biblical Jews right here that you see behind on this wall here, so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, all the way down to the so-called Mexicans, man. Tribe of Issachar. These other nations don't give a damn about us. The Israeli man, the Arab man, Palestinian, however you want to terminology you want to use, they don't give a damn about us. The so-called Israeli man, they made sure we went into slavery. They financed them boats, them ships. And don't think for 1 second these goddamn Israelis ain't had no slaves. And let's not forget about the trans-Sahara slave trade. We think we want to be buddy with all these goddamn nations for what? Because we want to be a part of the world. We want to be a friend of this age in society. We want to be a part. We're a part of this goddamn fake movement talking about we anti-Zionist and we anti or what have you. Meanwhile, you're gonna be sitting at that goddamn Thanksgiving dinner because you're fake woke. You're just doing what society says is right. There's a part of society that says the Palestinians, X, Y, and Z, be on their side, be a part of the freedom fighters, right? Which a lot of people may think, okay, is right and just. But let's not forget about the crimes of the Arab, of the wild man. And let's not forget about the crimes of the so-called Israeli man. Both sides of this war have committed great acts of terror. Now, nobody would ever ask you, Crips of the Bloods. Why? Nobody would ever ask you, what side you picking, Crips of Blood? You can say neither, because in today's society, they're both associated with wicked things, right? Why can't we see the reality of these two nations? We can't, because we so tied to it. We so tied to these other nations, right? To these other societies, that it's like we don't have a choice but to choose a side. We don't have a choice but to choose a side, so we tied up in it. Right? Meanwhile, Palestinian women, whatever the nationality, Arab so-called freedom fighter, and crashed into one of our buildings. First, this is an act of terror. Where you at, Bloomberg News? Where you at? Where's the national news? Now, if this was the so-called oppressor, the so-called Israeli organization, this would be worldwide news. Worldwide news. FBI not even touching on. I mean, come on, y'all. I ain't gonna get into that. Okay. This is love not the world, neither the things that are in that world. A lot of cats back in Hamas because they goddamn Muslims. A lot of cats is backing the Palestinians, not because the Israelis is committing war crimes, which they are, but simply because they're Arabs and they're Muslim. You favor them because of your religion. You love the things that's in the world, and that religion that made you a subservient to another nation. I forget this dude name. They had him on across the line. They was talking about across the line. Goddamn, some brother that's followed some famous dude. I forget his name. As soon as I leave here, I remember some famous dude following the so-called Jewish man. He's a subservient to the Israelis, which is really not the real Jews. They a sector of subdivision of Esau, Amalek. That's their true nationality. They're not the real Jews. They're Polish and German. They're European, so-called European. I'm saying they were refugees from the war. Dumb. Let's place in that line in the late 40s, man. This is just this is just common knowledge. It's common history. Jewish converts from Poland and Germany and other parts of Europe placed in this part of the world. Jewish converts. We gotta listen, man. We gotta stop, denying historical evidence. We gotta stop denying the actual facts of the matter here. So you a so-called Muslim, so you're gonna favor the Arab and the Palestinian. You a so-called patriot, so you're gonna be absolutely against the so-called Hamas Palestinian side. You can't recognize and understand, but both of these nations are criminals and don't even belong in that line at all. It belongs to neither of them. The Israeli man is not the real Jew, and the Palestinian man, that ain't his land either. Ain't nobody gonna win this war. Ain't nobody gonna win this war, black man. So why are you choosing the side But we love the things in the world. We love the things that's in their society. You love their religion. You love their custom. You love their ways. So you're gonna pick a side. Like you cats in that garbage Islam. You think you in the fight? Oh, free Palestine, free this. Goddamn cool. No, just like anybody talking about free, go the Israelis or whatever you want to say. You ought not to love the world. You ought not to love this age and society that we live in. Nor the other societies, the other nations, the world of the Arab, the world of the Israelis. You got to be completely severed from them, from their ways, from their customs, man. We love the world. We love the things in the world. Not only those two, but America too. We all up in the politics of it. We all up in America's ways. The so-called Halloween just passed. We can't wait for Thanksgiving, and you up here talking about free Palestine, freedom fighters. Meanwhile, you gonna sit up there at that Thanksgiving table and celebrate the death and the murder of the North American Indians, of the Seminole Indians, of the Taino Indians, the Puerto Ricans, and the list goes on. All the natives of the Americas, man, which are the northern tribe. What goddamn hypocrite. You're a filthy, disgusting hypocrite and a liar. Talking about you goddamn, you're about peace. You're about peace and love and all this. Meanwhile, you celebrating a goddamn holiday. Celebrating the death and the murder of the tribe of God. The death and the murder of the Seminole Indians, the tribe of Reuben. The death and the murder of many, many of the northern tribe, man. The so-called Dominicans. You understand? Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians. You understand? The list goes on. Argentinians, man. Chileans, Brazilians, and the list goes on. A filthy, disgusting, goddamn hypocrite. Oh, I think it's so wrong what the Israelis is doing, and they gotta stop doing that to Palestine. You're gonna be eating the turkey at the goddamn Thanksgiving dinner. What talking about that conversation? How hypocritical is that, huh? God, Christianity, man. Christianity didn't got us. Christianity got us jammed up. We can't even see. You can't even see what we're doing. What we're saying. We just going with the flow and going what society says is right and just. But we're gonna sit up Thanksgiving Day. Let me move on now. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Right? All them pastors talking about we stand with the Israelis, the love of the Father ain't in them. Or the other side, whatever side you don't want to pick, the love of the Father ain't in you. Either side that you pick, dummy. Got a lot of cats losing their jobs over talking about Palestine. Palestine is Palestine that. You think you on the side of liberation. Meanwhile, you still a subservient. Unknowingly. You may not see yourself or understand that you're against the Israelis, okay. But now you done became a subservient to the Arab. You didn't came a subservient unto Islam. Dang. Listen, Christian church is a joke. The Muslim mosque is a joke. It's a goddamn joke, man. How was this at? Bear with me, Cloud. Let me get this one more. That's the shit. We're gonna go to James real quick. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Show you something your pastor failed in teaching you. Your imam failed in teaching you. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. All of that. Look, how they And then listen, you got these goddamn protesters coming up against the Israelite school at UPK, but you ain't going coming up against no goddamn the so-called oppressor. You gonna come up against the real revolutionaries of the earth, the real priests and prophets, but you ain't gonna go against your real enemy. I mean, I gotta get some rest. But you ain't gonna go against your real oppressor. We the real freedom fighters in the Israelite School of UPK, and we ain't gotta pick up no AK, no AR. We ain't gotta pick up no weapon. We ain't gotta pick up no weapon like the wild man, the Arab. We ain't gotta pick up no weapon like the oppressor. Understand, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We teach this truth. We teach the Bible, and we exercise this Bible because it is practical. This is a practical way to live. Let's get some more. I didn't even get the damn book. Show you something. I'm gonna show you something super duper heavy right here. Show you something real heavy. Church don't break. I'm like, this particular breakdown, like the church like to go to John 3:16. You gotta love everything and everybody. We go, but meanwhile, the scripture says, "I pray not for the world. I pray for them." Christ said that. So you gotta think in your mind, right? It gotta be more than one world. It gotta be another age of society that's in John 3:16, and another age of society Christ was talking about. It gotta be, because the Bible it doesn't contradict itself. Somebody had it wrong. Somebody just don't got no wisdom and understanding. Somebody using scriptures to push a particular doctrine, right? And I'm gonna show you something. Look, we still in the New Testament also. Black man, Hispanic man, Native man. Don't be out here praying for Ukraine, praying for Palestinians, praying for the goddamn Israeli man. Listen, let them fight. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Matter of fact, the Lord is turning them against each other for our sake. Don't you dare ever be a part of their, their so-called conflict. Because I'll tell you this, every last one of these nations, not one of them, not one, came to rescue us. Not one of them African nations, not one of them Arab nations, not one of them European nations, not the Israeli man. Instead of what they are rescuing us, they ensured our captivity. They ensured it. And not only then, but now also. They come to devour us. How? Socially, financially, in every way, shape, and form. It's not about uplifting and fixing the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. It's about how can I extort them? How can I gain from them in some way, shape, and form? How can I do that? Even so much that they want us to choose a side? Damn that, man. Damn that. Especially when they want to trying to terrorize us. Come on, man. Me and James 4 and 4. I gotta get some. I gotta get up mad earlier. I'm already in the red zone. I'm supposed to be asleep 5 hours ago. Salaki. James 4 and 4. And I pulled his why. James is talking to sinners. James is talking to Israelites. It reads this. James 4 Ye adulterers and adulteresses. This is blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians following another religion, following another God, following Islam, following Christianity. That's also adultery. The Lord said, I was a husband unto thee. And then we step out of that and follow another God, follow a false God and a false religion. James is talking to sinners here. You adulterers and adulteresses, following Christianity, Islam, all these other false religions, right? Okay. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? It's enmity with God. The friendship, we want to be a friend of the Israelis. Oh, pray for Israelis. We want to be a friend to the Palestinians. Pray for the Arab and the Palestinians. Pray for the Ukraine. When have they ever prayed for you? They don't. They never have. They don't give a damn. We are, in fact, the nation that is not desired. That's us, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man and woman. We're the nation that's not desired. But yet, time and time again, we want to be with the cool nations of the earth. Oh, we want to be Arab and Muslim and bow their head, smack your head on the ground. All them cats just want to be seen. Look at me, I'm a Muslim. Wearing a goddamn dress, smacking your head on the goddamn ground. You look like a goddamn fool. I bet you they don't even pray in private. They go outside to pray in public to be seen. He's a follower, man. And a subservient unto the Arabs. You're a friend to that world. Friend, we want to be with the cool. Are you so childish that we become? We want to dress like them, talk like them, be like them, celebrate their holidays. Such a subservient to the people that murder us, to the people that look down on us and talk down on us and kill us and shame us, right? And a lot of these nations, they know who we were. No one said a word. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever, whosoever sounds just like John 3:16, don't it? It sounds just like John 3:16. Why? It's talking to a particular people. Whosoever of these adulterers, these Israelites that I'm talking to right here, dummy, be a friend of the world. Hold up. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. Damn, right? I know. Your pastor that made you an enemy of God, damn. You going to church trying to follow God and get right and be righteous. Meanwhile, Jamal Brown and your pastors and your leaders then led you down into a place of destruction, man. Governor Moore that went on his Facebook and said, "Yeah, we stand with the we stand with the Israelis and blase." Cats is looking at that. Oh yeah, we got to get behind the Israelis. We don't understand. We don't understand how destructive that is. Being a friend of the world and being the friend of that world has made us the enemy of God Himself. Now you take a look around you, and you wonder why the Lord ain't on our side. We wonder why the Lord ain't on our side right now. Because we stepped out of that marriage. We didn't step out of that covenant. We didn't step out of that protection and that order for what? To be with the cool nations of the earth? To be with the so-called cool nations. Yeah, you better grow the hell up. A lot of you cats are scared not to show up to the Thanksgiving dinner. Scared not to give a Christmas gift. Becoming subservient to this nation. Scriptures say this. We are in the neck of thine enemy. So fused together with this beast. Now we can't see how far we've gone. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. It's time to extract our minds from this place and learn real black culture, which is this Bible. This Bible is full of black culture, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian culture. Our customs, our ways, our traditions, our holidays, which are holy days. That's what we got to get back to. Loving this world then got us destroyed, black man. Loving this age and society then got us in a real bad place. But we can't see and recognize that because we so fused with this age and society. We're so fused with it that we think that this is becoming the norm to celebrate the murder and the death of the North American Indians. And at that same dinner table, you're going to be talking about free Palestine. At that same dinner table, you're going to be talking about pray for the Israelis. At that same dinner table, celebrating the death and the murder of the North American Indians, you're going to be sitting there talking about pray for Ukraine. Are you kidding me? That's how far gone we've come. Christianity did a number on us, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, that we can't recognize and really come to terms with reality here. We can't even see it. Hey, look, man, I gotta get some rest, man. Hey, look, feel free. Hey, look, type your questions in the chat if you got a question. You're gonna be back here tomorrow live here at the Israelite School of ISUPK. We are under commanding General. We've been teaching this truth since 1969. That the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are, in fact, the true biblical Jews of the Bible. And that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? The Israelite School of UPK does not stand with Hamas. The Israelite of UPK does not stand with Ukraine nor the Israelis. You understand? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge stands with God, stands with the Most High Power. That's where we stand. And with that, Shalom, Israel.